Okay, so this is a little bonus video on how to make a marketing flyer. So I just chucked this together. It's not the prettiest, but it just gives you a bit of an idea of what you can do. So I'm going to use this one as inspiration, and I'll leave a little link for this one so you can get this. But we'll put something else together just to give you a bit of an idea of what you can do. So I've got down here the little company logo that we came up with earlier. Let's set about setting up a new document. So we're going to go with a new. I'm going to call this marketing flyer 2020. We're going to make it A5, so it's about half A4. It's half A4 size, and then I'm going to make this in portrait, like so, which it is already. And we go OK. Right on. Okay, so first of all, let's grab this. Control A to copy all. Control C to copy it. Go over to the new page and go Control V to paste it. So we'll have something like this. And let's see if we can come up with something a little bit different. So what we're going to do is grab the rectangle, and I'm going to put a box through the top to start with, possibly a box across the bottom, so we can have a header and a footer. This one here, I've got a diagonal sort of slice right the way through the middle. Let's leave it for a minute like that. I've also got a few things. We've got something to catch people's attention. So personalised branded clothing, embroidered and printed. We've got some USPs, some unique selling points, fast turnaround, competitive pricing, quality finish, huge product range. And then down the bottom there, we've also got the our company details. So we've got our little company logo. Let's make a new company logo. And if you know my Southeast Workwear logo, we'll chuck that one in. So first of all, we've got a block. I've got some text which says South, it's all in capitals, Southeast Workwear, like so. The font that I use is Impact. And made that about that sort of size. I centralised the text. I'm going to break them apart because on my logo the Southeast is slightly bigger because it lines up with the outside of the box. So to do that, I'll click on the text and I go Object, and I will go Break Apart or Control K, and that gives me two separate components. I'm going to drag a box round the bottom part, and I'm going to press E and C to align it horizontally and vertically. So that's E and then C. I'll show you again. So if it's over here, I'll drag a box around the two and press E. That's going to align it through the center point, and then C to align it through the vertical axis. Now I'm going to bring the Southeast down. The box is slightly smaller normally, so I'll resize that. EC again, and then this font comes up to the side. So I'll drag my rulers across, like so, and I click on that, and I can use the arrow keys just to inch that across a little bit, and then I'll expand the font up to there. So that's my text, my logo sorted, and now I have this in a blue colour. So just for argument's sake, at the moment I've got no fill colour, so if I was to click on this blue here, you can see this blue colour is now selected down the bottom. Well, I want to change that to my blue, and my blue is an RGB colour, so I know what it is off the top of my head. I use it all the time. So I'm going to double click on the blue there, which brings up this palette editor, so I can change the fill, I can edit the fill. At the minute it's set to a CMYK palette, but I want an RGB palette. So rather than have 4 components, I've got the 3, which is the red, green and the blue. And in there, if I wanted to actually change that, I click on the colour viewers, and I could change the colour to whatever I want. And you see this colour changes here. I've got the slider, I can make it green. I can go over to the red or the pink. But I actually want a blue colour, and I know that my RGB colour code for that is 092185. Or if you know the hexadecimal value, you can just put that straight in there. So I'm going to go 0 tab 92 tab 185, and I'm going to go OK, and that's my blue, the blue that I use. So the top line of my text is blue, and you can see now on the left bottom corner of the palette, it's now selected in the colours that I will be using throughout this design, and as I bring new colours in, they'll always appear here. Now here, this is going to be white. If I wanted to combine that to make it one single component, whereas the workwear font was actually punched out, so if I put a block behind at the moment and made it black, and then press Control and Home, that's going to send this, Control and End, sorry, that's going to send this, the black block, right to the back. So if you look on the objects over here to the side, you can see that the very bottom item is this one here, which is this rectangle, which is right at the back. If I picked it up and moved it up, you would see that this would actually, if I took it right the way to the top, it'd be back where it was. So in front of everything. So at the top is the foremost of the page. So let's go Control and End, take it back again. So the difference with grouping and combining is, if I put a box around this and press Control G, it'd be grouped as one object that I could then keep together in one place. So if you look over this side, if I go Control G, it says grouped objects. If I undo that, Control Z, and just say actually I want this to be highlighted all, and then go Control K, sorry, Control L, that would combine all of the components. So even now, if I made this all white, this logo, you can see that the actual background, if I change the background colour to blue, you see that actually comes through. And you can see that I've got a stroke, a black stroke around the edge of that as well. So if I went up on the right hand side of the palette and clicked on the right button on my mouse, that would get rid of the black stroke. If I wanted a green stroke, I'd click on the right mouse button on the green, and you can see there it's got the green stroke. Okay, so let's go back, and I want this in the blue. I'll tell you what, actually, let's make it white. So this block across the top, when I export this as a PDF, it's only going to export what's on the page behind. So if I have anything that overlaps, it won't matter, so you won't see that. If you exported it as something like a JPEG, then it'd be the outermost extremities of the actual design. So let's make this block blue. Let's make this my logo and put it on the top. Let's make it white. Let's get rid of the stroke on it, the outline, by clicking on the right mouse button. I'm going to resize this, Southeast Workwear. Our tagline for our business is we are workwear. So that's what our tagline is. Okay, so we're going to make that white. So I'm going to click white, and the font I use is Champagne and Limousines, which is the next one down, and we have the bolderized version, which is that one there, and I'm going to drop that in underneath. So what we're going to do here is going to make a little flyer for some printed hoodies, I think, and I'll show you how I put this together. So we got the top there. We could add in some text along the bottom, so we'll add that in. I'll make that bottom blue. I wouldn't really want to add too much of a large block because I don't want to lose. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's lose that. Let's put this up the top for a change, up here. Okay, and I want that all to the front, so highlight it all, Control and Home. That'll bring that to the front. I want all of that white text, and we're going to need to get that onto the page. So it's all about alignment with your designs. So let's just give ourselves a nice edge all the way around the outside, and then we'll try to stick to that. So let's highlight that. So I've grabbed the box around it, and I'm using the arrow keys just now to inch that across and to bring that down. Let's align everything to the bottom of this logo, and down to there as well. Okay, that'll do for a minute. So let's go. I want to use this font, so if I want to use that and bring it across, I can click down with the right mouse button, and that duplicates it, and I'll just make that black for a minute. Let's go levers, hoodies. Okay. Now we could go, let's add in a star. So I'll put a star in over here, and to make that square I'm going to hold the control key down to increase the amount of points around the outside, and to change the points I can click on the little red dot to pull that out, and back to the pick tool I can increase the amount of points going around the outside, and that would give me something like that. We could say click on the text, drop it down, from £18, something like that. So we could put something in there. We'll stick that on there for a minute. What I like to try and do is just get all the text in that I need. Super fast. And let's say now it's keep those memories. I don't know, we could say something like memories of your time at school with personalised levers, hoodies, let's say. And then what we could do here is we could have a number 20, like so, and we could then make that number like in impact as well, and we'll use some of this in a moment. Okay, I don't need any of that, I'm going to delete that, so that's no good for now. I want to change this font because I try to stick with my theme, I try not to have too many different fonts on the page. These texts here, the fonts in there should all be champagne and limousines if we're doing that. Really don't want any more than about 2 fonts, otherwise it just starts to look a little bit disjointed, and that should be there as well, so that's good. We'll bring those all in together in a moment. So really what I need now is a picture of a hoodie. So one of the companies that I do use for branded hoodies is AWD, search for unbranded hoodies, so it's AWD hoodies. So let's have a look. Let me go over and grab a page for you and bring that across over here. Okay, so these are the hoodies that I use for direct garment printing. Let's have a quick look at these products, and hopefully we can find something that we can use to superimpose our logo or our design onto, something like that. Let's have a little look in there. This is a very, very common hoodie that we use at the moment, this particular one. It's cool, we could use that, we could take that out the back. What else we got here? So that's a real cool image. Let's have a little look, see if there's anything special. I'll tell you what, let's just go for speed. Let's pick that one, that's good. Okay, so a couple of ways you can grab this. If you don't have the assets, which we do have when we buy these, but what I'm going to show you is we're going to use a snipping tool, and we're just going to grab that quickly. And as soon as that loads up, and then we're going to pinch this picture. When the snipping tool actually decides to load, super fast computer. There we go, cool, new. So I'm not really worried about losing too much of it. Let's go with that. Control C, back here, Control V, drop that image in, and let's just resize that there. And what we'll also do, actually, because there was a picture of a girl there as well, which was pretty good. That one there, I think, was down here, wasn't it? With the same colour top. Let's go with that as well. New, snip. Control C. Okay, just to give us something to work with. We might not use them, but let's put them in there for speed anyway. Let's drop them in. Okay, and we've got that as well. So first off, I want to get rid of that background on there. There's two ways to do that. One, we can open up Coral Paint. So we could actually go with that, right click, and we could launch Paint on here. So let's go edit bitmap, and that will load up this extra program. So as part of CorelDRAW 2020, the suite, you get things like trace, you get capture, which is like screen capture, which is a little bit like the snip tool, and you also get the paint as well. So to remove that, what I'm going to do is zoom in. I'm going to probably click on the clone brush and I click there, and I'm going to remove. That's not very good. Let's go back again. So I'm going to click here with the right mouse button and go there, and I'm going to just take that out. If you want to reduce the size of that clone brush, then you can just come down a bit as well. Let's go here. Okay. Take that out of there. So when you click your right mouse button, that's what's giving you the point where it's copying. So take that out. Obviously you can take your time to do this. Believe me, when you finish with that. If you want to, you can blend it by using a smudge tool, and we can just smooth that all in like that and tidy it up, and I probably would just give that a bit of an edge, just to like that, just to make it look like that. When we zoom back out, I don't know, pretty good. I'll go with that. So we hit save, close this program, and that's back in there. So we've got this now. So let's just go. I want a number 20 on the back of that, and I want levers as well. So here we go. Let's put something together. And levers. Now normally inside the levers you have lots of different names. I'm not going to go into that too quickly at the moment because I think we're going to run out of time. It's going to be too long video. But if we zoom in here and click at the top, let's make that impact as well, because that's quite a common one. That's good. I'll be happy with that. And I'll go with this one as well. 20. Let's put that above the top. Levers 20.